Alright guys, I don't normally make how-to videos for YouTube or whatnot, but this time I will. Some of you might recognize this is a Polaris ATV pod. The speedometer goes right here in the center, and you got like lights here and switches and whatnot. And this pod was painted with a spray can similar to this one right here, and directly on the old plastic without any preparation whatsoever. And this is the kind of result that you'll get. You can see that with my nail I can just scrape off the new paint, and you can see the old plastic, faded plastic underneath. So the paint doesn't stick at all. Look at this. And this paint has been dried for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months or so. I know because I've painted myself. That's before discovering the technique that I'll show you in just a moment. But first of all, I'm going to have to get rid of all this paint, and for that I'll be using this Graffiti Remover. So I'll show you quickly what it does. Now this plastic was in the shed, it was cold, so it might not work effectively, but I just spray this on, and in a couple of minutes the paint is literally going to peel off. As you can see, it's starting to bubble right now. This is pretty lethal, potent stuff, so do it with proper ventilation. There you go, look, you can see it's peeling off right now. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all the paint, and I'll get back to you for the next step. Okay, so I finished removing the old paint, the spray can paint that I had put on a couple of months ago, and I removed it with this product right here, a Graffiti Remover. It's pretty potent stuff. So you can see the old plastic, it's all faded, it's pink, it's not red anymore. This is like the new color right here, and it faded with the sun. You can see the Polaris logo right here. So the next step is going to be wet sanding. I have 800 grit sandpaper. I'm going to wet it. Normally I do this in the laundry room, my girlfriend's laundry room sink, but for the purpose of this video I'll do it on my workbench. So preparation is the secret of the result of this job here. So I want to wet sand thoroughly every little nicks and crannies of this part. So it could take, this size of part could take 20 minutes, half an hour, or something like that, depending on what kind of job you do. But I'll be removing all the shine of the old paint. I'll be removing all the tiny little scratches everywhere. And once I'm done, I'll come back to you guys, alright? Alright, so I'm done sanding it wet sand, 600 grit, and as you can see I removed pretty much the shine everywhere. I think I did a good job. There's some deep scratches here, a little bit here, and a little bit there. I'm not going to put the effort of taking those scratches out with a harder grit sandpaper, because I'll be replacing this part anyways whenever I find one in a good condition. Alright, next step. So I've sanded, I've cleaned it with soap and water, I've wiped it down dry. Next step, because normal paint There's not one single plastic paint that will stick on these kinds of plastics. I don't know what kind of plastic this is, but any paint will peel off. So what you need is you need a barrier, you need a bond between the plastic and the paint. And this is the perfect product. It's got overspray on it. It's called Adhesion Promoter from Duplicolor. What it does, it creates a bond. So this will stick on plastic, and then the paint will stick on the promoter. Now, shit. So the way to spray this on is you shake it well for a minute or so. You spray it on, and it dries within 5 to 8 minutes. So as soon as it's dry, you can start applying your paint. You can actually see it dry. I don't know if we'll see it on camera or not, but it dries really, really fast. Do a test right here. It's a clear. Might see red because of the plastic there, but it's a clear. It's like a clear coat. Yeah. It also smells really bad. I should have a mask on. All right, so you can put 1 coat, 2 coats, how many coats you want. It's not important. See, look, it's already drying here. If I blow on it, you can see the, yeah, look, it's drying, all right? So I'm gonna, maybe I'm just gonna put a little bit more here. There you go. All right. So I'll get back to you in about 5 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 4 minutes and it's pretty much dry. You know, it depends on the temperature in your room and blah, 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 whatever. Anyways, I'll be using this color, this company here, Corylon, I think you pronounce that. That's a red. It's typical spray can red that you find in any hardware store or whatever. So it's a nice bright red, just like the rest of my ATV. So I'll be putting a coat on, and oops, let's go. Now you don't want to put too much so it won't leak. And there you go. One nice thin coat. Cover everything. Man, I'm painting my workbench too. I'll be putting 2 coats, that's for sure. The important thing is that once you're done, if you need to do touch-ups, you don't just, if there's a little spot here you missed, you don't just spray it there. You spray the whole thing. Nice coat all around, or else you're going to get overspray, and that'll show once the whole piece is dry. You'll have some kind of a matte overspray on top of your nice shiny color. So this, I got no choice, guys. I'm gonna let this dry a couple of hours, and I'll be back for the last coat. And once I'm done the second coat, I'll let it dry probably overnight, and then I'll come in and spray a clear coat on top. All right, so see you later. Okay, so I'm back. I cheated. I put the second coat, and I completely forgot to get it on video, but it's the same thing as the first coat, right? I just waited for the paint, the first coat to be dried enough. It was just slightly tacky a little bit, but it was dry enough to my opinion, and I just sprayed a second coat, a nice coat, nice even coat. At this point, when it's half dry, you don't want to start doing touch-ups like I said earlier in the video. If you need to do touch-ups, you repaint the whole thing with an even coat, or else you'll have overspray, and you'll see it. Once it's dry, you'll see the overspray. It'll be like a rough, matte little color there. Anyway, so this I'm going to let dry overnight, and then I'll come back and I'll put some clear coat on it. I'll probably put 2 coats. This is gloss clear. Probably put 2 coats on it, and that's it. So my video is going to end now. I'm not going to show you when I put on the clear coat because there's no difference, right? And I'm certainly not going to do the nail test for at least a week or 2, so you won't see that. But believe me, trust me, this technique works. This is what they do, or there's a guy on Facebook that told me that this is what he does in his body shop when they repair bumpers. So if the paint sticks on bumpers with this technique, it'll stick on these plastics. And since I've done it, I've had no problems, no issues with my fenders on my ATV and whatnot. So, I mean, I go in the woods, branches, scratches, whatever, and the paint doesn't come off. So paint remover for the old paint, the Adhesion Promoter. Oh, really scrapped my paint. Adhesion Promoter, and then your spray can, whatever color you want. You can even change your color if you want. I mean, you won't see any difference. It's a perfect job. It's a great job. I could say it's almost a permanent job, seeing the results of my ATV. And well, that's it. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be there on YouTube.